it's focused on you. What?
Let's bang heads and sit.
Ow!
Oh, well, that nearly went. Look, watch.
No, you don't bang my head so it focuses on me.
Let's see, the box stays. Look. It actually works. There we go.
It's like you have to catch it. No one can see us doing this. Do you know we actually look crazy right now?
You'll have to edit a little white box in to show me that one.
I don't have those kind of skills. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well and you're having a lovely day. It's a very sunny one where we are today, isn't it? It's been a really nice week. So I've got a little guest in my video today.
Little? I've been called Little for a while.
A big cuddly guest in my video because we've been meaning to do a Q&A for so long. I asked you guys questions a while back on Instagram, and there's been a lot that we've been asked probably over the last 6 months that we haven't really answered. The most asked questions that we haven't answered ever or for a while, and thought you might find it interesting. So we've got a little list, haven't we?
Yeah, so the first question is, how did you know you was ready to start a family?
That's a good question. I'm not sure if we've ever answered that before.
I think it just comes to a time where you start to do things, especially with us because we was together for so long.
Yeah.
That we went through all those processes of being together, moving out, getting a puppy, and then I think
the first step, getting a rabbit.
A rabbit, then a puppy.
That's what people tend to do, isn't it? They get the rabbit, then the puppy, then the baby.
I think it's just that natural thing, like you feel like it's the next step. So, and it wasn't like we just was like, we're trying. It was a case of we stopped contraception and we just said, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah, and it happened a lot quicker than we thought. Basically, for any new subscribers, Ricky and I, very briefly, we met when I was 17 and Ricky was 18, so we were at school. And then we were together for a long time, we got engaged, we moved out, all of that kind of stuff. We were together for a long time, like we've just said, before we had a baby. And I'd been on contraception for a long time as well. So I thought it would take like a year or something.
Yeah, I think because of experiences that we heard from other people and advice from the doctors, we kind of thought, you know, it's going to take a few months because of what we had heard.
I thought a year to get out of your system.
Yeah, but then it did happen quite quick. Quite a lot quicker than we thought.
A lot quicker, but we weren't upset about that. We were really scared, but we weren't upset. We were really happy, but just like, it was a massive shock, wasn't it, when it did happen?
I think with both boys, I would never change it the way that it all happened.
No, we've been very lucky.
What is natural cycles?
Okay, so I did a post on Instagram, I think it was a couple of months ago now, when I started working with the brand Natural Cycles. If you haven't heard of it, or if you haven't seen me updating you on Insta stories of how I'm getting on, or my Instagram post, it's a form of natural contraception. It's something that I'd seen for a while, and when they contacted me, I was really intrigued and really wanted to give it a go because as a migraine sufferer, I could no longer be on the pill. So I used to use the pill, and then in the last couple of years, I've developed migraines, and I can no longer use it. So it seems like it could be a really good form of contraception for us. Since I've done that Instagram post, I got so many questions on that I wanted to give you a little bit more of an idea about what it is. So basically, you get this thermometer when you sign up, and you have to take your temperature every single morning, and then you input it into your app, what your temperature is. And then you have green days and red days. So on green days, you can have sex safely without the worry of getting pregnant, and on the red days you have to use extra protection. And obviously for a lot of people, and me in the first instance as well, it set alarm bells ringing like, is that going to work? Is it safe? And all of those things. So this is actually the only certified natural contraceptive product, the only natural certified contraceptive app out there, and it's 93% effective. So it's very similar to how effective the pill is if it's used correctly. You've gone quiet because there's not really that much you can say.
It's not something I use.
Yeah, but I mean, it's important to talk about contraception with the person that you're with, and it's like got to be both your choices because it affects you as well as me. So they recommend that you should be between sort of 20 and 40. You're in a long-term committed relationship. Obviously an app like this isn't going to prevent sexually transmitted diseases, so it's no good for that, and it has to be something that's right for you. It's just a really good thing to be in tune with your body in general. So I'll put a link below to this if you want to find out more. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me, but their website has a frequently asked questions page as well if you want to find out more. So that's a bit more about what natural cycles is. Really hard to describe in an Instagram caption or in a few Insta stories, so I thought I'd pop it in this video.
What does Ricky do for work?
We get asked this a lot, don't we?
I'd say almost once a day recently, but yeah, it's a very popular question.
I think in the last 18 months, coming up to 2 years now, you've been around a lot more, so people are like, oh, Rikki'S around a lot more in vlogs. You're doing a lot more Instagram stuff. And
how it started was because I changed my jobs and I started working in London. I was able to come home earlier on some days, leave for work a little bit later, so it generally felt like I was around a lot more from then.
It gave us a bit more freedom, didn't it?
Obviously, when I left my job in London and started working from home and helping Kate, I was obviously around a lot more and I was in a lot more vlogs.
But we haven't really ever addressed it, have we?
No.
So it's quite a difficult one. Well, it's not really. I mean, Ricky left his job over 18 months ago now because you may have seen a lot of YouTubers have started to get teams around them and people work for them and all of that kind of thing, and that's because it has grown so much even the last 8 years since I started. It's just changed and grown into more than we could ever have imagined it would be when I started making little videos in my bedroom
I think
19.
If someone had said 5 years ago, this is where you're going to be in 5 years, I would have been like, no, I don't believe it.
If someone said this could be both our full-time jobs and it would allow us to be at home with our kids. For Ricky, I mean, not so much Archie, because I was with Archie on my own for about 2 years, but like to be at home from Elliot's the day he was born to see his kids grow up. I mean, we just couldn't be more grateful that we're in this position. We feel so lucky that we can both work on this. I know
now. I'm so lucky the opportunity that I've got for spending time at home with the boys and seeing them grow their younger years, because if I was in a full-time job, I wouldn't get to see half the things that I see now.
I think it's difficult because it does seem like the dream and we love it, but it can also be difficult. Like the lines between work life and home life get very blurred. We can end up sometimes working till 1, 2, sometimes I'm up editing till 3 o'clock in the morning, and you never really know where to stop. And it comes with its difficulties, but I don't think people understand what this is as a job and all of the work that goes in it behind the scenes. Of course, when I'm filming videos on my own, Ricky's doing a lot of the childcare, but he's not just at home looking after the kids. There's so much more to what goes into this job behind the scenes.
I think it's all the that's what I was going to say, all the behind the scenes stuff. But make
it possible. Ricky's been asked a lot actually recently to do his own channel, which I think would be so good. And he does loads on Instagram stories, and he does loads of a lot
really
of people
lovely
been asking photos and photography,
recipes, food.
He's a real hands-on dad, so I'd definitely go and give him a follow. A little plug for him.
Thanks.
In the description box below.
I think I've got my fingers in a lot of pies. Is that the right saying?
Have you? Have you now?
When and why did you stop breastfeeding?
That is a question I get asked a lot of the time, isn't it? For anyone again that wasn't around, I breastfed Elliot for just over 6 months. About 6 months. And he would sometimes sleep in our bed. He wouldn't sleep for more than a couple of hours at a time.
Well, some nights we'd even be up sort of every half hour or 40 minutes.
It was such hard work, and we just couldn't get him into a routine. He never slept in the day, ever. He wouldn't fall asleep being breastfed anymore as he got a little bit older, and it was really hard. And I didn't want to stop. I mean, it's really hard to talk about because there's a lot of controversial things about breast is best and what's best, and you don't want to say breastfeeding is bad, you don't want to say bottle feeding is bad. So for the record, we don't think either is bad. We've done both. We've done both work, both have their pros and cons. Do what you think's right. We're not saying you should do what we've done, but for us personally, when he did start being bottle fed, like you said, it allowed us to get him into more of a routine. And some breastfed babies will be in a perfect routine, but just for us, it was quite difficult. So I loved breastfeeding. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done in the beginning. Then it became really easy, really natural, and I thought, why would I ever start bottle feeding? I'll just do this till I wean him off. We didn't need to make formula. We didn't need to sterilised bottles.
Gotta admit, that was an absolute gem.
Yeah, you didn't have to do
bottles.
anything.
Oh.
You didn't have to get up in the night. Like, I did express, but not that much. Some months I didn't at all, and then others I would. I was very lucky. Like, I had a lot of milk, and it was pretty natural for me, and pretty easy for me.
When it comes to things like this, there's so many things out there that give you advice on
Yeah,
how to do it, when to do it, what to do it, what to do. Yeah, obviously you know what to do, but I don't think that.
You don't know.
I think when it comes down to your own family, you know when to stop, when to start.
Yeah, it was the right time.
Yeah, when
at
you
the
need to
time I was
change.
devastated. I know I cried and I just felt awful and I felt terrible. But now, looking back, like, I needed to stop for our family's sake. It was getting to the point where it was getting too difficult.
You wasn't getting no sleep,
No,
Elliot wasn't getting any sleep.
I couldn't work, it was just
help.
hard. So, there's pros and cons. I think I might do more about this in a completely separate breastfeeding video if you would like me to do that, or if you have any more questions, but yeah.
Right, do you want more children and would you like a girl?
So we get asked this a lot. We have answered this before.
Yeah, we do get asked this a lot. We've always said that we would like to have 3 or 4 children.
Yeah.
And obviously now that we've got 2 boys, I would love to have a daughter.
Yeah.
But I think no matter what gender our next baby is, if we have one, I will still love that baby exactly the same if it was a boy or a girl.
I personally think we can only have another baby if we're having another baby to have a baby, not a girl or a boy. I mean, literally, I used to get so offended by people constantly saying, oh, you must really have wanted a girl when I found out I was pregnant with Elliot, or, oh, are you going to try for the girl? Like, it does irritate me, I'm not going to lie. But everyone asked it, even down to the health visitor the other day, like everyone. So it's just such a natural thing to wonder, I think. So I think I need to stop being offended by it and just think, you know, I've probably asked people that before and it's probably secretly annoyed them. And it would be lovely to see what it's like to have the opposite gender.
And it's tied up again with the question earlier about starting a family. It's when you're ready as well, I think.
Yeah, when we're ready, and if and when we're ready, we would love to have one more baby.
Yeah.
I'd ideally love 4, but I don't think that's realistic now. That was what we wanted when we were like 17, 18.
Depends if you want to be a MILF, doesn't it? Well, you would be a MILF.
Why am I not one already?
No, you are a MILF, but I'm just saying, like, if you had younger kids, like, and you started getting into your 40s and they were just going into school, I reckon you'd still be a MILF at 40. How did you get the boys to sleep through the night?
Okay, so Archie was one of those, like, we were one of those annoying couples that were given this child that slept through the night from 9 weeks old, and he's pretty much been so good ever since. I mean, teething, there's been problems, illnesses, there's been problems, but pretty much from day one we knew we would put him to bed at 7 and he would wake up the next morning. Then we had Elliot and our whole world got turned upside down because he didn't sleep through the night until he was about 10 months. 9 or 10 months. And now it's still not every single night like we've cracked it. I feel like we pretty much have. Yeah. But he's still...
And he doesn't... With Archie, we knew that once we gave him that bottle, turned the light off and went downstairs, he would go to sleep when he finished that bottle. With Elliot, it's all a coin flip. Like, you never know
if he'll go to sleep on his bottle or if we'll need to go and settle him. But he is so much better. So if we can quickly answer, like, how, Archie was just a good sleeper. Elliot, we've had to kind of sleep train him slightly. So it was getting to a point where he was waking up sort of every hour through the night and we were snapping at each other and it was just a nightmare. We couldn't function in the day and it was like being tortured. So it nearly got to the point where I nearly let him cry it out, but it was a time where he was teething really badly. I think it was the top ones coming through, and I just thought, I've just got to ride it through this little bit, not let him cry it out, just keep, you know, going back in, patting his back, being a bit more like pampering him a little bit, I guess. And then after that, he was still not settling without one of us sort of being there and patting his back and being in the room, but when I did start walking out the room, I would just say, okay darling, mummy's going to go now, I'll give him a kiss and say goodnight to him. Then I'd walk out the room and instead of like hysterically screaming the house down, he would just cry a little bit. And that, I feel like that is okay. So that's where you can start to let them cry out. But it's controlled and it's not like they're hysterical and in a terrible state. It's like they're crying and they're having a little moan because they want you there. But they're starting to learn, okay, mummy or daddy's going to go, and then I need to get myself to sleep, and they have to learn that.
If you had a child-free day, what would be your favourite thing to do?
Oh my god.
God, just spend time together.
What would be yours, Gun? Because they'd probably be doing that. If you could do anything.
Just a day together, like a pub lunch, a glass of wine and a beer, maybe like a walk along the beach or something. Like just being together. Because a day on our own at the moment is like work, sort things out, sort the house out.
Yeah.
There's always something that needs to be done.
It's not like a day of fun.
No, yeah, there's always something that needs to be done that takes priority over just going out and having fun.
Mine would be a day in London, go up early on the train, walk around.
On your own.
No, if you go shopping, probably not that enjoyable for you, but like have a nice lunch, have a nice dinner.
Yeah.
Or just go and see a film even. Like, I'd love to go and see a film. So those are some of your most frequently asked questions at the moment. If you have any more, then leave them in the comments below. I'm sure we'll do another one of these if we have enough questions asked to us. But I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it's kind of, if you're a new viewer, it kind of explains a little bit more about us and us as parents and our relationship. And if you've been here for a while, it might have answered a few questions that you've been wanting to know. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Give it a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Go and subscribe to his Instagram, and obviously the links to mine and everything else on my other social media will be in the description box below. And subscribe to us if you'd like to see more videos like this, more family vlogs, fashion, lifestyle, beauty. There's loads going on. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye!